Kojo sat in his chair, staring at the big house in front of him. The house he built with his sweat. The house where he created memories. Where he built a life with his wife, Abena. But tonight, something felt different. The warmth he used to feel was all gone. Welcome to today's story, viewers. I hope you sit back and enjoy the story and drop in the comment section what you learned from the story. Thank you. It all started 2 years ago. Kojo and Abena had been married for 10 good years. Their love had been deep, very deep. It was built on mutual respect, on laughter, and years of struggle. She had been with him when he had nothing. When he sold goods on the streets of Accra, hoping for better days. When he slept in front of shops in the busy city of Accra to prevent himself from being beaten by the rain or the scorching sun. When his business finally grew into a major import and export company, they celebrated together because they knew the struggles of each other. Abena, on the other side, struggled for her marriage. Knowing very well that her husband had nothing, she sold all kinds of things to make a living for the home. She was a supportive wife, a wife who didn't sit down with her fingers and her legs crossed to demand from her husband. She knew her husband Kojo had nothing, and she was ready to sacrifice for their home. They had 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl, who were the light of their world. Life was stable, peaceful when they finally made it, until the whispers began. A man of your status needs more than one wife, his uncle had said one day at a family gathering. You have money, you have respect, so you should think of having another wife. Another uncle said. His Auntie Ceci once said, you have all the riches in the world. What legacy would you leave behind with only one woman? Wow. Kojo loved it off at first, but the idea grew inside of him. These were his relatives always feeding him with this mindset. He did not get it. But with time, this idea grew on him. He wasn't a womanizer. Get that right. Kojo wasn't a womanizer. He loved Abena, his wife. He truly cherished her. He knew the struggles they had made to come this far in their marriage. He knew the struggles his wife Abena had made. He knew that he genuinely loved this woman and was ready to spend the entire life with this woman. But something about having another wife, expanding his household, started to seem like the right thing to do. He thought about it and he's like, I don't think that's a bad idea. Anyway, he told himself it was cultural, it was tradition, it was normal. Men do have more than one wife. Men before him had done it. His grandfather had 3 wives, his grandfather's brother also had 2 wives, his father had 2, his uncle had 3, and so to him, men had done it before him, so he wasn't going to be the first one to have a second wife. And hadn't they always said a man is measured by the size of his home? But Kojo didn't prepare himself for what was coming. Eventually, something happened. Efua was different. She was younger, full of life. She was ambitious. She had dreams of starting her own business. And when Kojo met her at a corporate event, he admired her confidence. At first, it was just a conversation. then friendship, then exchange of contacts, then always talking, then always talking. Then the idea settled in his mind. She would be his second wife. He felt Efua made a right match for him as a second wife. When he finally told Abena his actual wife, she sat frozen, her spoon hanging in mid-air as they ate dinner. She was completely taken aback. She was shocked because this was her partner for 10 good years and they had gone through the mill to come this far. She said to him, "You are joking, right?" And she laughed it off, trying to force a smile with a nervous laugh. "My husband, I think you are joking, right? You keep having these silly games with me. I know you are joking." But Kojo shook his head. "Abena, I love you. I honestly do love you. And that wouldn't change. That wouldn't change at all. The love I have for you is never going to change. But you know our traditions. A man of my stature, a man with all riches that I have, a man like me, a man wealthy like me." Kojo didn't end his statement, and then Abena slammed her spoon onto her plate. "Our traditions? Our desires? Are you serious now?" He sighed. "Abena, it's not like that." But it was, actually, and Abena knew it. A month later, Efua eventually became Kojo's wife. And Abena was heartbroken. She did not get she felt she was in a dilemma because she couldn't believe what was happening right in her face. All she knew, before she could say anything, there was a new lady in the house as her co-wife. Wow. At first, Abena tried to be understanding. She convinced herself that she could handle it. And this was just another part of their culture. She even tried to welcome Efua into their home. But deep down, jealousy burned inside her like fire. Then the changes began. Kojo, once attentive, once loving, once caring, once the sweet husband every woman dreamed of having, became distracted. He spent more nights away staying with Efua. When he was home, his mind seemed elsewhere. He just wasn't the man Abena knew him to be. Their Sunday family outings became rare. The small affectionate moments, holding hands, surprise gifts, late night talks, going to the movies, faded into memories. And their children noticed it too. "Where's Daddy?" their son asked one evening when Kojo missed another bedtime story. Abena forced a smile. "He's busy with work, darling. You know Daddy is always busy with work." But the truth was, he was with his second wife, Efua. The tension between Abena and Efua grew unbearable. Every small thing became a battle. Every small thing became an issue at home. The little thing escalated into a big fight. "You are spoiling the children," Efua remarked one day when Abena bought their daughter an expensive dress. Abena scoffed. "Oh, I didn't realize I needed your permission to care for my own children." Kojo, tired of the arguments, avoided being home. The house that once felt like a home turned into a battlefield. On a particular day, Efua got back from work, knowing very well that Abena was home. She got back from work, dropped her bag in the couch, and went to the kitchen expecting food to be made for her by Abena. She got into the kitchen and no food was available. She got upset. She banged the door, started yelling, What the hell do you think? What the hell do you think? I am out there following my dreams and chasing my dreams, and you are the housewife at home and you didn't make dinner for me? Abena was shocked. I mean, she did not get it. I understand you are my rival, but was I supposed to serve you? Was I supposed to worship you as my rival? She did not get it. And with time, Abena felt she was out of place in her own home because everything seemed to her as a joke, but now it looked even more real than she thought. Efua went on to scold Abena's children. She will beat them at the lightest thing. She just was tormenting Abena at home. Efua was just tormenting Abena at home. She just wanted to make Abena's stay very unbearable. Kojo found himself under pressure. Running two households was expensive. Even though they all lived in the same home, it was more as though they were running two households. Because from what had happened, he had to expand their home and have a separate kitchen, have a separate bedroom, have a separate living room for his first wife, Abena, and for his second wife, Efua. So he felt himself he was under pressure. And running these two households became very expensive for him, even though he was very wealthy. Efua wanted a new car. She felt she could have a better car than Abena did. Abena needed money for the children's school fees. The financial burden weighed on him, but pride kept him from admitting it. One night, he came home late, exhausted. Then he found Efua waiting in the living room. "You promised me a security," she said coldly. "Now look at us. Now look at us. You promised to have me my special aid. Now look at us. I walk about it as a PA. I walk about it as a public, and as a PA, without a personal assistant. What the hell do you think of me? I can't believe in this life. You have all the money to get me whatever I want." Kojo looked at her and he was shocked. He looked at her and smiled. He noticed that he couldn't handle this pressure anymore. He burst out and said to Efua, "I'm doing my best, Efua. You know I'm doing my best. Trying to manage two households. I am doing my best, Efua." Efua folded her arms. "Your best is not enough, Kojo. Your best is not enough. If you can't get me what I want, I am leaving this marriage as soon as possible." Abena, who had been listening from the staircase, had had enough. She had had enough of all that was going on in the home. "You wanted him so badly," she said, stepping forward. "Now you see what marriage really is. Have you seen it yourself? Not just gifts and attention. It's sacrifice. It's patience. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that, would you?" Efua's eyes narrowed. "At least he chose me. At least he chose me. You were his wife. You were with him for 10 years and he still had a reason to come pick me. He chose me at least. So don't tell me that nonsense." Wow. Maybe you should ask yourself why he needed another woman in the first place. You should ask yourself that. Because you have known him for so many years, however, he still went out to get me. And so I make the commands, I make the rules, I make my demands, and he needs to get me that. The slap came so fast, no one saw it coming. Abena's hand struck Efua's cheek, the sound echoing through the house. "You are stupid. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that." At this point, Abena had had enough of it. Kojo stood frozen, watching the two women he thought he could control. He realized it was too late. That he had built himself his own destruction. The house eventually became silent for days. Kojo barely spoke. He spent most of his time in his office, drowning in work, trying to escape the chaos he had created. One evening, Abena packed her bags. "I am leaving," she said simply. "The kids and I will stay with my sister." Kojo panicked. "Abena, please, this isn't what I wanted." She looked at him with tired eyes. "You wanted more, Kojo, but you didn't think about what you would lose, and so I have to leave." She left without another word. Weeks later, Efua followed. Because at this point, even though she thought Abena leaving made her the owner of the home now, made her the boss woman of the house, she was lying to herself. Kojo was just tired of the whole mess. And out of frustration, she followed on. The luxury, the excitement, none of it mattered when love had turned into a game of survival. Kojo sat alone in the house. The house he once called a home. The house he had lived in with Abena, his wife of 10 years, with their 2 kids. The house where he built memories with his family. The house where they had movie nights, they had snacks day, they had parties, they had story time. They had so many beautiful memories, now drowning in regrets. The house was dead. He wanted more, but in the end, he lost everything. Sometimes, having more doesn't mean having better. In chasing traditions, status, or personal desires, we must ask ourselves, what is truly worth it? What is truly worth it? Do you think polygamy still works in modern times? Do you think Kojo made the right decision, or was it all a mistake? We would love to hear from you. Please drop in the comment sections what you think about this story and what you think about polygamy. We would like to hear that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining our story time today. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and share this story. And we would truly appreciate that. Thank you.